Hello and welcome to another Warcraft the audio commentary. Today, guys, we're going to be watching the first game from a series of a best of 3. I'm not going to cast the whole series. It's probably a pretty good series. I haven't seen the other 2 games. Actually, I haven't seen any of them, but I've been told this game's really worth a watch. It's game 1, and it's between Germany and Great Britain, and they have that whole thing going on over there right now. I'm not sure what it's called. I do know what it is off the top of my head. I don't, so I'll put it in the description below at the video, as well as the links, the download links for the other replays. So if you want to see games 2 and 3, you can watch the replays. The links are there, but we're gonna cast the first game, and of course you should know both of the players. They're really good players, and it's supposed to be a really good game. So we're gonna watch it. The other 2 games I think are good too, but I think they're Undead Mirror, so I just don't really want to cast any Undead Mirrors. I mean, they're fun. They're fun to watch, but look, there's other games available right now that are not Undead Mirror. So let's go ahead and just start introducing our players real quickly. We have HLA spawning in as the Purple Night Elf in the upper right part of the map. In the lower left, we have DKH Pain spawning in as the Orange Undead. This is Amazonia, as you can probably tell. And of course, what are we going to be seeing? It looks like it's going to be a ghoul play coming out of Pain, some kind of ghoul play, very interesting. And from HLA, we're going to see a altar. So it's going to be a Tavern Hero. This map, well, it's a Tavern Hero, so if it's a Night Elf going to Tavern Hero, it's usually going to be either the Beastmaster or the Dark Ranger, one of the 2. And since the Ancient of War is just sitting here at the base pumping away and it's not really close to any creep camps, I'm just gonna guess that it's gonna be the Dark Ranger. Because if it's the Beastmaster, usually you'll build it, you know, maybe here, or, you know, usually even here. This is normally the better place, but we'll see what it's gonna be as soon as that pops out. Down here, of course, probably gonna be the Death Knight. Yeah, it is. Death Knight Ghoul's pretty standard way to play it, and it's a great way. It's great all around. So, of course, if you don't know, HLA is usually an undead player, and I don't know why he wanted to play Night Elf in this game. Maybe he likes his Night Elf strategy on this map. Maybe he just didn't want to play it. Oh my god. It's an Alchemist. That is awesome. That is awesome. He's playing Alchemist first, Night Elf. This is a real game. This does matter. This game is actually kind of a big deal. If you are a regional, locally located in Great Britain or Germany, this is like the big, you know, this is like, these are, I believe, I'm fairly certain these are semifinals, in fact, so it's kind of a big deal. I don't quote me on that, because I had all this information in my head before the game started, and now I've forgotten it. But anyway, so this is a legit strategy, and I've played ladder on Europe, and I swear I've seen this exact strategy on Europe ladder, like Alchemist archers, on the European ladder. Maybe it was HLA practicing. Who knows? Maybe he's been practicing this forever. I don't know. I doubt it. I very much doubt it. I highly doubt it. But I wasn't expecting an Alchemist, and so enough of me being completely flabbergasted and shocked by that awesome choice. What a great choice. Let's look and see what Pain's been doing. He's just been creeping up. He did sell his TP, as you can see. So he's getting a tech right now. It's actually kind of late for selling your TP. If you sell your TP, usually you get a tech up pretty quickly, but he's got a lot of ghouls here, so it looks like he wants to do some kind of crazy early aggression. We can see 6 ghouls right now, a 7th on the way. He's got 1 in the base, and look at that, he's got a graveyard up going for the tech. He could be going into some kind of gargoyle play. Now, there are a lot of archers here with an Alchemist, a level 2 Alchemist versus a level 2 Death Knight. I would say, you know, HLA should be able to defend this not too difficultly. This is a great defense, and just look at this great micro. He's going to be trying to go ahead and keep all of those archers alive. 1 ghoul going down, and will that archer actually live? It will live. Looks like he's going to make it to the Moonwells, but we might start seeing stuff going down now. There's still enough mana for some coils, but those Moonwells are pretty much out of juice at this point. And as you can see, oh, will he go ahead and reveal in time? Yes, he will. That archer does go down. Look over there. You can see some archers running away. I'm not quite sure why they're running away. They could be fighting, but maybe a little bit of a mistake over here. You can see finally some split ghoul action going up in there, trying to harass the wisps, as well as a couple other things, maybe some buildings, whatever. But unfortunately, there are 2 archers right there that have been microed really well by HLA, and he is just doing and holding this absolutely beautifully and astounding. And as you can see, he went ahead and pre-dusted this archer as it runs away. He does not want that to die, or to live by shadow melting out of the way. And it's in fact going to die. That just lasts quite a while. Once that starts blinking, that means it's got 10 seconds to go. So there was no way it was getting out of there. Of course, we're going to see a little bit more experience going to the Alchemist, 12 more experience for each one of those little skeleton warriors. Don't feed them. You don't want to feed them. Obviously, a lot was going on right there for Pain when that happened, so it's a little bit tricky sometimes to make sure that you ensure not you know, I'm microing everything, but of course these guys are really, really good. Some of the best players that the European Union, sure, that the European Union has to offer the Warcraft that you've seen right now. So that was a great fight. That really was. Really well held by HLA there. Oh, this is gonna be a big detonation if he gets all those. Oh, he only got one skeleton. That could have been so good, so good. But you know what? That happens. Now he's out of dust right now, so he can't actually kill this archer. It's just going to be able to shadow meld right there, and pretty much the harass that Payne has been putting on is over at this point. The best he can do if he wants to stay over here on this side of the map is try to stop that alchemist from leveling, or you can pick up a Naga, which also would work fairly well for him just to be able to do some damage. Are these going to be gargoyles? Are we going to see gargoyles, or are we going to see something else? It is a tech to Black Citadel. There's only one crypt. He is building a slaughterhouse. It looks like maybe it's going to be a tier 3 push with some frenzy ghouls. Maybe, probably not. Probably going to be fiends and statues and abominations. That would work fairly well against this. You have to have some tanky units if you see an alchemist, generally speaking. You need to get like abominations or something tanky, just because of the fact that this guy has this absolutely crazy amount of DPS. The alchemist does an insane amount of DPS, and he works really well with archers behind him, because archers are, you know, they are slow units, but they're ranged units, and they have a lot of DPS when you have a bunch of them. So in the early game, he can creep fairly well with that. Now he's also got a ton of HP. That's a really important distinction that we're seeing this. It's really good to pick up a Naga second against an alchemist first rather than a Lich second, because if you want to do something, you'll see that this guy has 925 life at level 2. I know he doesn't have that Gauntlets of Strength +3, which gives him additional strength, which is 75 extra health, but he has a very high amount of HP. He doesn't have a lot of armor though, so physical damage is what you want to do, because if you try to nuke him down, you know, if you hit him with even a level 3 coil, that's going to do what? I think it's 170 damage. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but I think it's 170 damage. Is it 190? 100?
A player's force is
I can't do math. I should know. I used to know this. Because it's, let's see, it's 70, 140, 210. It's 210. That is, yeah, there we go. It's 210 damage. The main point is it's got 1,000 life, so if you do 210 damage, even that's a level 3 coil, it's just not going to dent this guy. But since he only has 2 armor, if you're attacking him with like frost arrows, you get more additional hits in with, say, fiends or something, then you can start doing a whole lot of damage and start racking up. And now he's been kind of, I think, looking for the undead player. We kind of saw him walking across the map, and kind of an interesting pattern, and it looked very much like he was just looking to see where is the undead player. Can I get a creep jack on? That would be great. Over here, though, the undead player hasn't quite been found like that. He will get a wisp coiled right there. It's going to give it a level up to level 3 or level 2. Level 2 on the Naga Sea Witch right there. And, of course, Dryads are on the field, and Keeper of the Grove as the second hero. Not a bad choice, and Tingling Roots are going to be really good against Crypt Fiends, and I think he was probably expecting Crypt Fiends. I think he might have seen one in his base as well, so he probably knew they were coming. But it's a great, yeah, you can just see how great this is. If it gets caught out and you're not tier 3 with Destroyers, there's no chance that it's going to live. Absolutely none at all. Now, of course, having the nukes great in general against Night Elf, but again, having the Naga as the second hero meant he could do a lot more damage in the middle game, and he was a bit more of a threat, and we saw the elf player had to back off. So that was why I went on into all that explanation spiel that took way too long. God, I am out of, what is it, out of shape when it comes to casting? My words, I'm tripping over myself. One of the comments was like, one of the videos was like, man, you can't find words for anything, you're dumb. I mean, it wasn't quite like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's true. It's so true. I'm doing a bad job, I'm sorry. But it's going to be Ghoul Frenzy. Look, I didn't even misspeak earlier. You just have a lot of leftover ghouls from that early aggression, and you might as well use them. You might as well. I think in general you want to with this strategy, but I wasn't sure how many you had left, so it's not usually worth making additional ones if you are against an alchemist first, at least in my opinion. I don't think that it's a well-defined meta though with alchemist first, because we don't see a whole lot of that. But maybe there is. Maybe if we asked Thu, he'd be like, yeah, of course, you always make frenzy goes against alchemist, you dummy. I don't know. I don't think Thu talks like that, but anyway, so lots of wonderful illusions are being used here. And this is, you know, was he able to, is he going to scare him away? Because I think he wanted to come over this way. Maybe he's going to creep a little bit closer to base because of that illusion. I don't know. Not sure. But over here we can see that the elf player has retreated all the way back to his base. And what is this? He's going to pick up anything? An orb of venom. Alchemist has absolutely insane DPS. I had to take a drink of water there, sorry. Sippy sippy, it's good. It's actually terrible. It's tap water. Tap water around here is just awful. But here comes a potential creep jack. Well, it's not much of a creep jack. The creeps have died already, and we're going to see destroyers being morphed. Destroyers are very useful against bears, obviously, but also really useful if there is going to be any Keeper of the Grove. You're going to see a staff on that bear getting out of there. Really good to have that go and immediately happen. Now, you do have to be a little bit careful if you are the undead in this case, because you have these frenzy ghouls, but they don't do a good job against bears at all, really. Now, this could die, but it looks like it's going to be able to walk away without any problem, and we're going to see this bear getting microed out quite early on, which is really good for him. Will we see this Crypt Fiend dying? No, he's going to get a coil, and of course, there is a ghoul right here with that Entangling Roots on it. Will it get eaten? I can't quite tell. Will this Fiend go down, or will we see a nuke? Oh, it's going to end up going to the Fiend, but the Fiend died before it happened. And now the Alchemist is taking a lot of hits. It will be forced to TP, and that is probably going to be a dead bear. Yeah, that's going to go down. It will get coiled, and out of there. Ideal sucker. There. Oh no, the other bear was not quite in TP range, and he is going to go down as well. That is quite unfortunate for HLA. A little bit of bad luck. Miss micro, I guess, however you want to look at it, because technically you could have saw that and microed it away, but it's so hard to do that, so gotta cut him some slack on that one. Those kind of things, they just kind of happen. And Pain is not going to waste the opportunity to go ahead and creep up and get that Lich to level 2, maybe get that Naga to level 3. Ideally, obviously, the Death Knight wouldn't be in XP range here, but he doesn't have a whole lot of units, so he might just use this to help creep it out for speed. It's not like you're wasting the experience, because the Death Knight's getting fairly close to level 4, and at level 4, he can get Death Pact, or probably, in this case, level 2 Unholy Aura, because you don't really... There's not a huge threat of this Death Knight dying unless he's lost everything else. I mean, it's the army that we're seeing coming in from the elf player. Oh, it's right here. I was like, where is it? Yeah, it's not got a ton of single target DPS burst. It's got a lot of it's got a lot of DPS. As we saw that Fiend just disappear. And that Alchemist taking a whole lot of damage as well. He's got a rejuvenation on him, and he's going to have to stay away from those destroyers, otherwise they will just eat that right off. But he did a good job of keeping it right out of range. And of course, we're going to see that Entangling Roots on the Death Knight, but the Death Knight, again, shouldn't have too much problem. He doesn't need to be in the front line whatsoever, so he can stay out of danger right now with just a little bit of micro, but he is kind of risking it because there's not a whole lot of worry when there's no bears around. If there's no bears around, the damage output's a whole lot less, unless you're sitting near the Alchemist, which he decided to run to for some reason. I don't know. He might go for level 2. No, that is Unholy Aura level 2. Oh, is he going to actually lose the Death Knight? The Death Knight goes down. Oh, that is a big misplay, but it's not going to be up for nothing, because that Keeper of the Grove is going to go down as well, and that is not the best trade for either player, really, but it's probably a lot better off for... I don't know. You know, I was going to say it's better off for HLA, but I actually don't know, because I'll tell you what, the Death Knight died first, and you might say, well, so the Naga got experience. That's true. But when the Naga died, or when the so the Keeper of the Grove got experience because the Death Knight died first, right? But the Keeper of Grove getting levels isn't that big of a deal. Entangling Roots is about as powerful as it's going to be at level 1, and the hero doesn't really contribute a lot more once it gets levels, compared to the Lich and the Naga, who got experience for killing the Keeper of the Grove, and those heroes are both super good and scale like some of the best scaling heroes in the game with levels. They do such a better job at higher levels than they do at lower levels. I'm tripping over my words. Holy crap. Yeah, and also, I mean, the Naga does a lot more damage in the higher levels too. You get the nukes, and Colt Frost Arrow is so good at high levels as well. So anyway, we're gonna see another fight going on. There is no staff on the elf player anymore, so he can easily lose these units. This could go down to just, well, is this bear? There's a bear sitting in the back. This is a fight that's pretty much solidly gonna go to Pain. We're gonna see one of those destroyers going down, but he's already lost 2 bears. He's got another bear that's pretty much dead in the water. We see a Dryad getting microed out beautifully. HLA is definitely doing a really good job right here with to not just get decimated, because he easily could have, but he did definitely lose that fight. But he didn't lose it by as large of a margin as he could have. He didn't have a TP. He had no real way out, but he still was able to micro and get out of there no problem. So even though he lost probably about 600 to 700 resources worth, maybe 800, maybe even 900, I'm not sure, just guesstimating here, Pain only lost a destroyer. So, and Pain got a bunch of experience with these heroes that are not something you want at high levels. But again, Pain or HLA is still doing a good job, and this Alchemist is getting fairly close to level 5. If he gets to level 6, you know, if the Alchemist can get level 6, then he is going to be in the game, even though he's definitely behind right now. But it would be really well worth it. He can get level 6, so he definitely wants to force as many little engagements as he can, because even if it means that the undead heroes are going to get a lot of experience, it also means that Alchemist is going to get a lot of experience, and that is so important. because the Alchemist has the ability to transmute units once he gets level 6, and that makes like hit and run a completely different thing, and the Undead can't do that really very well anymore because they just start losing units and feeding the Elf resources, and the Elf can really drag the game out like that. So we have another fight going on, and again, it looks like HLA is definitely losing it, and he's not killing as much as he needs to. He's still level 4 on that Alchemist. He really needs to pick it up to level 5. You know, maybe it would have been worth creeping instead of engaging right there. I don't know, because he could have gotten level 5 from creeping and then tried to engage. The main issue is that Pain, since he's in a better spot, he does have the ability, at least it would take him a while, but he does have that ability to get into upkeep, and that's not something you really want to do if you're not also really solidly going to be able to do that. And I mean, HLA at this point, he's not bad, actually. I mean, he's doing better than I thought he was. As you can see, his resource count's about even with Pain. So yeah, I would say it's more even than it looks. I would say it's deceptively even. It is. So there you go. So this fight, it's still, given the army compositions, I still think Pain's ahead. Frost Armored Abomination is really good, but we're going to see the Frost Armor getting dispelled. That Keeper of the Grove just disappeared. And now we're going to see that, unfortunately, this Alchemist hasn't been able to do a good job with Chemical Rage. He's just getting Naga slowed pretty much all the time when he's in Chemical Rage, and it's really reducing his effectiveness and dropping his DPS. So that is a massive problem. If he could have just taken the Naga out or something, I think it was trying to focus on the Death Knight, and I just don't think that was such the best decision. And that was a pretty big wipeout right there for HLA. Unfortunately, he's back in his base, and once again, he has kind of dropped drastically low, down to 39 supply count, going up to 44 once he decides to start rebuilding the Keeper of the Grove, and he stopped? What? He stopped. He was building the Keeper of the Grove. I don't know, maybe he wants to buy it from the tavern, potentially? Maybe. HLA will lose this expansion that he was making, and we're just seeing he's not doing much this army. Killing fiends, I don't know, you can just kind of see like that Alchemist takes so much damage with that orb. You can just see he already doesn't have a lot of armor. He's -2 armor right now, and even if you have 1200 life, -2 armor is just a big pain. And actually, that's a good question that Lucy fans just asked. Well, why 0-2 fiends? And I'll tell you why. Basically, oh, and that's a good game. Look at that. Yeah. So basically, HLA just didn't have the DPS to take things down, and that's that's why the fiends were 0-2. If you can't, that army, the Alchemist is something that does loads of DPS, but it's physical DPS. He has the thing that reduces your armor. I think it's acid spray, acid bomb. It's been wow. So I think, yeah, whatever it is, chemical spray or chemical bomb, acid spray, the green thing that reduces armor and does damage over time. So what that does is that does a bunch of damage, but it reduces your armor, and then he has Chemical Rage, which makes him attack super fast, and he has a fairly high amount of damage just per attack. So you combine those two factors together, and you have something that just shreds things. The way that we saw Pain deal with that, and he dealt with that perfectly, really. He picked up the Naga second, and we kind of talked about that a little bit in the game, and the Naga was able to cast the slow arrows, which slows down the Alchemist when he is in Chemical Rage, which drastically reduces his DPS. And then 2 or 3, I'm not sure which point we're on, he also, which I didn't even see until just at the end, was that his fiends were upgraded with armor, which makes perfect sense because you're trying to keep your units alive, and that's really all it is. And if you can keep your units alive against the Alchemist, then the Night Elf army actually just falls down pretty easily, just out-micro them. You know, not necessarily out-micro them. HLA did a fantastic job microing, but he just was countered. He was countered too hardly by Pain. It was a really beautiful counter. And like I said, so you basically could have saw as the game went on in those fights, if you were paying attention to them, that what was hitting those fiends was mostly maybe a couple of bears would hit them, but for the most part it was that Alchemist just chasing around the Dryads. And so if those fiends are really tanky and you can't whittle down the Undead's army, one, you're not getting experience to level up that Alchemist, which is another thing, and 2, you're definitely not going to kill them. Those fiends are definitely not going to be able to kill the Naga, and you need to be able to kill the Naga as well. So, because the Naga just cripples your Alchemist and makes it all really hard. So that was really, really, really well thought out and really well countered by Pain. So beautiful job. Great game to watch. And like I said, if you want to watch the other 2 games, the next 2 games in the series, I'm not casting them, but what I will do, there is in the link below, in the description below, I mean, there are links to all 3 of the replays. You can check all of them out if you'd like to. These guys are great players, absolutely wonderful, and HLA is a beautiful undead player, so they're probably really good games, so check them out. Other than that, the reason that I'm not really doing that is because what I want to start doing on Fridays, right, is I want to start this thing, I don't know, where I start doing user-submitted replays, start casting them. Not the whole series, just one game. Casting an entire series takes a whole lot of time, unfortunately. So it's a lot more time than you might think as well. Like, it's not just the time of the replays put together. Like, casting a game and getting it up, it takes a while. So we're just doing one game. So if you want to send a game in for that, then what you can do is you can go to any email client you want and open it up and email cureby@gmail.com. The email is in the description below as well, and you can just do that, cureby@gmail.com, with the subject line that's in the description below. Just copy and paste it. I'm not even going to say it, so don't try to type it. It's really important that it's exactly that, because I have a filter set up so that any emails that come in with that exact subject line will be put into the filter, so I will see them. I may not see it otherwise, so please use that filter if you want, or that subject line. Just copy and paste it. It's super easy. Don't copy and paste the quotes, just what's in the quotes. Just copy and paste that. Send me an email with an attachment or a link to a replay, and that would be great. That would be really great, and I might cast it on Friday. So I'm going to try just every Friday is my goal from here on out. Just, you know, one of those games, just pick one out, cast it, whichever one I like the most, or if I haven't seen them, you know, who knows? They don't have to be pro games. It can be, you know, Battle.net games or something. Just try to make them good, because I'm not going to cast like two people who obviously don't know how to play, right? But that's the goal. So tomorrow, we'll see. If I don't have any, then I'll just, if no one submits any tomorrow, then I'll just, I actually have a couple replays that people have sent me, so I'll probably pick one of those if no one does. But, you know, this will go up tonight, and so if you watch this tonight before Friday, the 22nd of the month, feel free to send a game. Anyway, so that's all I have for tonight, and I need to really get my words back under control. I don't know what's going on, but thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.